ready for game 2 of this 2-game set between the Stallions and Mohawks. Dan Chalm with you, alongside AJ DiBenedetto here in the Pack Hub broadcast booth. AJ, we've journeyed all the way to Amsterdam. It's very hot and steamy outside, but the big thing on all Stallions fans' mind is trying to sweep this 2-game set here against the Mohawks, coming off a 7-4 victory last night at Cantine Field.
Such a big win, obviously, before yesterday's game. 3 games back in the East Division of the PGCBL. Now 2 games back coming into today, the Stallions versus the Mohawks at Shuttleworth Park. It's a must win. This is a big win for us today, Dan.
This is a huge game, like you say, AJ. The Stallions right now sit at 2 games back. They haven't won here this year at Shuttleworth Park, are 3-3 against the Mohawks. Overall, that 4th win would break their win total since 2017 if they can get the 4th win here tonight against the Mohawks. But why don't we take a look at one guy who's making his return to Amsterdam, was our Pack Hub player of the game last night, and is the catcher tonight. That's Eddie Yaman.
Eddie Yaman is out for revenge. Played a game or 2 at Amsterdam, came to Saugerties, and won Pack Hub player of the game yesterday against the Amsterdam Mohawks. He's ready to do it again today. He is behind the plate, behind the dish. He's going to have an impactful game on the defensive side. He's also going to have an impactful game on the offensive side. It's a big game for Eddie today.
It's a big game not just for Eddie, but for this entire Stallion squad. No Andrew Amato tonight. That is going to be a big factor. He's out with a bruised hand, but luckily there's plenty of guys behind him that are more than capable to get it done.
That's the best thing about this Saugerties Stallions team. There's not just one guy. There's an entire team with every single player having each player's back.
We mentioned 5 specific guys, though, in particular. That's Nate Manley, Justin Ford, Andrew Amato, Byram Hott, and Eddie Yaman. These guys are combined .327 average and have driven in 55 RBIs. 4 out of 5 in the lineup tonight. They're truly the core right now.
They definitely are the core right now, and that's why they are in the lineup. I was talking to some of the players out of those group or core. They said they call themselves the Avengers. I don't know what to say to it, but it makes sense when you're batting that well in a 4 to 5 group of people.
But the Stallions have not been able to bat well here at Shuttleworth Park. It's been a problem for them as of late, and home field advantage overall has been a true determining factor between these 2 squads. The Stallions 13-2 at home, 6-5-2 on the road. The Mohawks 13-1 at home and 8-4 on the road.
Definitely see the struggle of both teams on the road, but that goes with any team in any league, Dan. You're going to play better at home. You have the fans, you have the momentum, you have the field, and you know all the optics of it. That's the struggle of going on the road, though.
Head coach Colin Martin still not back with this team. It's interim head coach Rich Doobie, and we've heard that before, led the Stallions to the PGCBL championship in 2021.
Definitely a great coach. One of the best interim coaches you can have, Rich Doobie. Won the PGCBL in the 2021, won the game yesterday, so starts off his 2024 season with a win, looking to get his 2nd win in a row against one of the most fearful rivals.
We're going to take a quick step aside here from Shuttleworth Park. When we come back, lineups and first pitch. Stay right with us here on the Stallions. Yep, cut it back. Back here from Amsterdam, Tyler Bach to lead things off here for the Stallions tonight. There was Andrew Amato last night. The only change in this lineup from last night to tonight is Tyler Bach out in left field, or in center field, instead of Andrew Amato.
When you win a game, Dan, against the most fearful rival, like I said before, you're going to keep the same lineup, if not maybe 1 or 2 changes.
This one's chopped over to the right side. Figueroa throws to first. It's a quick out number 1 here in the top half of the first, and the first batter last night for the Stallions went yard. That was Andrew Amato. So now with 1 out here in this top half of the first, it'll bring up Mario Trivella. He batted in the 2-hole last night, went 0 for 3, 2 walks, but did come around to score.
This has to be a different game than yesterday, Dan. We saw 12 errors between both teams, and it was just a sloppy game overall. And it's ironic because it's the two best teams in the East Division of the PGCBL matching up. So you expect more perfection in a game between the two best.
You mentioned that 12 errors combined, 7 for the Stallions. That is an all-time high in a singular game for Saugerties. The pitcher on the mound tonight for the Mohawks is Justin Shattuck. Coming into this one, he's sporting a 3 ERA. Here's the 0-2 to Trivella. Misses outside for ball 1. Shattuck so far this season, 6 innings pitched, has only let up 2 earned runs, 7 walks, and 9 strikeouts. It's the 1-2. Misses on the outside, and we saw the Mohawks put Logan Forsythe, one of their best arms, out there last night. He came in with a 3 ERA, and the Stallions are going to need to attack early on the road with Shattuck on the bump.
It looked like they were even attacking early against Forsythe yesterday, just not going their complete way. Couldn't time him up, and went batter by batter, and he looked like he just kept on upping the velocity.
Oh, he also upped the velocity, which led to strikeouts. 17 for Saugerties in that game yesterday. That was a season high. The payoff. Misses on the inside. It's a 1-out walk here for Mario Trivella.
And Dan, we look at velocity. 92-mile-per-hour fastball out of Shattuck. Really starting off the Stallions hot so far in this game.
We know that Hayberger, which is the big lefty arm out of Alabama, is scheduled to pitch today for the Mohawks, but Keith Griffin opting to start with Justin Shattuck. Next batter he faces here with 1 out in the top half of the first is going to be Nate Manley. He's doing the DHing tonight.
Manley, one of the best hitters on the Stallions team from the first game to this game that he's played. Just pure consistency from each at-bat, really.
He's been excellent for them so far this season. Has really been a true staple in that top 3. The 0-1 misses inside. Manley so far this season sporting a 3.91 ERA, or not ERA, excuse me, average through 14 games. That currently leads the squad.
Not eligible for season stats, though, within the entire leaderboard, though.
Trivella is over there at first after earning himself a 1-out walk. It's a 1-2 count here to Nate Manley. He takes upstairs. It's 2-2, and already you're noticing a difference in the approach at the plate. The Stallions were heavy on swinging, got themselves into unfavorable counts quickly yesterday, led to the 17 strikeouts, but a full count and now a 2-2 here to Nate Manley. The pitch misses outside, and it's back-to-back full counts.
Dan, you mentioned different approach. If you just watched the full game yesterday, and I bet some of the players watched their at-bats, you could just tell a different approach is needed today to be able to get another win on the board.
That was a win yesterday, but it was an ugly win with 17 strikeouts and 7 errors. Trivella gets a huge jump. He darts to second. Manley gets caught looking, but Trivella will swipe second. They're going to say he came off the bat. It's a double play here for the Mohawks to end this top half of the first. Manley was called out. He doesn't agree with it. Trivella made it there safely, but according to the second base umpire, he came off the bag.
That's just the turf. That's really turf. We saw that last game. One of the Amsterdam players slid off third, and we were wondering ourselves, why was he called out? It's because this turf gets slippery when you're going at such a fast speed.
So the Stallions with an unlucky break here in this top half of the first. Mohawks back here at Shuttleworth Park, bottom half of the first. Mohawks coming to bat. Why don't we take a look at the lineup that struggled last night at Cantine Field? It's nearly the same. Javar Williams will start things off. Then it's Tyler Figueroa, went 0 for 3 last night. Evan Hager in the 3-hole. He moves up 2 spots from last night. Cade Ladahoff stays as the DH in the cleanup spot. He was 0 for 2 last night and got pulled from the game in the 4th inning. That is Jimmy Dion in the 5-hole. Liam Wilson batting 6th. Zach Eldred, his first time in the lineup since June 30th. Luke Zepek, Rob Brispoli, and Sebastian Harden to end things out. And they'll be going against Liam Powell, which is an interesting name to say on the mound to start for Saugerties.
Most definitely an interesting name, Dan. The first time the Stallions have started an opener or relief pitcher to start the game. So far this season, he's pitched 8 games so far, none of them being starting. 12 in the 3rd inning. He's walked 6 guys, struck out 7, 2 saves, and a win. This is the perfect opener. Now the question is what's going in Rich Duby's mind to start him today against the Mohawks?
We know that it was either going to be Marciano Neglia, Jace Van Valkenburg. We've seen those 2 guys start, but Duby opting to try something new here today, and why not? First batter he's going to face is the center fielder, Javar Williams. There's the big storyline coming into this game for both squads. 12 in total. We saw multiple defensive replacements for the Stallions last night, but it just seems like they could get nothing right.
We've seen that in the few matchups so far, the multiple replacements up or down in the game.
It was shocking. Last night, though, the Mohawks started the game with only 9 in their lineup, and at the end of it, finished with 17 different players out throughout the field. This one's rocked to right field, and it is off the top of the wall. Cuello will field it. Williams is chugging into second. He's got himself a leadoff double here in the bottom half of the first.
That's just a good second pitch swing right there by the Wake Forest commit, Javar Williams. That's a smoke shot, but when you have a right and left field at 280, it's nice, especially being a lefty with the lower wall.
And we talked about that last time we were here. If that ball's hit at Cantine Field, Cuello is catching that due to his positioning with the wall being so much further back. That ball would be out.
Definitely would have been out for sure, but right there, hit off the wall.
With the runner on second, it'll bring up the second baseman, Tyler Figueroa. First pitch to him here is a ball. Williams very speedy over there at second base. Got to watch him. Definitely a situation where the hit and run could be put on. Here's the 1-0. That's got to be an adjustment, too, for Powell to come in as a starter after only appearing in the 8th and 9th innings so far this season, and now to be out there in the first.
And Powell always put into a situation that he doesn't want to be in, but he always gets out of it in a way with his arsenal and just his mindset.
This one's grounded to the left side. It is foul. And everything here at Shuttleworth Park is so tight. Completely different from Cantine Field. 280 to left and right field. 380 out there to center field. And the bullpens are also on the field. So that makes anything hitting the left or right field corner that much harder to field. The infield is also turf. Outfield is grass. The 2-1. This is upstairs, and the count will go to 3-1.
And no matter the optics of the field, Amsterdam, a very successful program before they even started StatCast and Point Streak and all of these different statistical things to show off.
First PGCBL championship in 2003. Powell gets Figueroa swinging, and the count will go full. And Figueroa thought that he was out right there.
I haven't seen that yet this year, Dan.
He started walking away thinking that it was a strikeout, but he'll step back in here for the payoff pitch.
If I'm Powell now, I'm throwing a fastball, knowing that he's mentally out of the at-bat. He's not ready.
Williams stands at second, had a leadoff double. Here's the pitch. Strike 3, he got him swinging. Just like you said, AJ. And there's one out here in the bottom of the first.
Powell thought the same as me. Must have saw me worded from afar.
So now it'll be Evan Hager with Williams still at second, 1 out in this bottom half of the first. We saw Hager yesterday down there in the 5-hole, was one of 2 Mohawk players not to get removed from the ball game.
And Dan, we talked about Amsterdam lost last night, right? So their last 2 games that they lost in a row was in 2021. So it's been 3 years since they saw 2 losses.
This one smoked to center field. Bach chasing. It will land in front of him. Williams is chugging home. There's going to be no play at the plate. Mohawks are quickly up 1-0 off an RBI single from Evan Hager.
Way more hitting in an earlier time than last game, especially. The Mohawks are ready to hit.
No chance for Bach out there with Williams' speed either. So after the RBI single from Evan Hager, it'll bring up Cade Ladahoff, the extra hitter. It was a surprising move last night. We saw Cade Ladahoff get pulled from the lineup after going 0 for 2, was replaced with Jimmy Dion, who is a 350-plus hitter, but this guy is the supposed PGCBL MVP as of right now, and Keith Griffin removed him in a 3-run ball game.
Yeah, Keith Griffin, obviously the mastermind of his very successful baseball program, no doubt about that. Just interesting moves.
That one catches him on the inside. So now there'll be runners at first and second with just 1 out here in this bottom half of the first. You can tell this game is already going to be different from last night.
You hate to say it, but it looks like it as we are in the bottom of the first. But you put Liam Powell in a tough position against a very good hitting team, something that's out of his comfort zone for sure.
Well, and the thing is, when you play away at Amsterdam, you have to keep the Mohawks close, and especially when you're the road team, must put up runs on the board early in the game. Pitch here to Jimmy Dion, the first baseman, is down low for ball 1, and Eddie Yaman is going to want to go and talk this one over.
Eddie Yaman sees that Powell isn't 100% comfortable just yet. It might take a pitcher a few batters to get comfortable, and Eddie Yaman is trying to speed up that process before it gets too out of hand.
Last time the Stallions paid a visit here, they took a 1-0 lead in the second. Then the Mohawks would score 2 straight in the 4th and 5th to give themselves a 2-1 lead. Saugerties would put up a run in the 6th, and then they would put up a run in the 8th to take a 3-2 lead before letting up 4 in the bottom half of the 8th and would end up losing 6-3. Runners at first and second. There's 1 out. Here's the pitch. Misses down low. You look at last night's game for both squads. Just ugly is the best word to describe it. Stallions had an offensive outburst in that 4th, but the Mohawks loaded the bases 3 times, and each of those times the Stallions were able to get out of the jam. Powell misses outside once again, and now it's 3-0. He's 1 pitch away from loading the bases here in this first.
For a guy that came into this game with a .73 ERA, barely letting up anything as a closer, having struggles in the starting position.
He deals a strike right there, and it's no easy task to throw one of your closing arms in there and expect a dominant first couple of innings. But if there's anybody capable to turning this outing around, it's Liam Powell. That one's hit to the right side. A nice play by Trivella. He'll prevent a run from scoring.
That's the most he could have done in that position, was just prevent the run, give Liam Powell the opportunity now for a double play scenario.
And the turf, we've talked about it so much. The ball travels extremely fast, way more than at Cantine Field with the grass and dirt infield. Makes it a lot harder for this entire infield to make plays.
Yeah, the turf, Mohawks are used to it. They're used to the turf, the bounces, all of that. Stallions, not so much.
With the bases loaded, Liam Wilson, the third baseman, is going to step in. Wilson came into last night's game. At that point, he replaced Tyler Figueroa, the 2-hole hitter, went 0 for 1. It's interesting to see Wilson in the 6-hole today. He's only batting .188 on the season through 15 games.
Wilson is having trouble throughout these first 18, 19 games like you said, but he is a Wake Forest commit. When a scout sees that type of potential, it's hard to deny it.
Gets him swinging right there, and now Powell in a crucial 1-2 count where he needs an out. Ballpark packed here at Shuttleworth. A beautiful night for baseball. The 1-2 fouled off to the left side.
Definitely not the spot to go down multiple runs. Only down 1-0 right now. But with bases loaded and 1 out, you have to prevent the damage as most as you can.
Stallions, of course, searching for that double play ball. 1-2 count. Here's the pitch. Strike 3, got him swinging. A huge strikeout here for Liam Powell, and now he's just 1 out away from getting out of this jam.
Powell thanking himself for getting that strikeout, making his life a lot easier. Now with 2 outs, you have no sac fly opportunity. It's catch the ball and get out of the inning.
With the bases still loaded and 2 out, it'll bring up Zach Eldred, the DH. This is his first plate appearance since Mohawk Valley on June 30th. He's also a two-way player, so pitches and hits. While he hasn't played in over a week, through 17 games so far, sporting an over 1 OPS. Powell quickly is ahead here, 0-2. Maybe time to throw something non-competitive.
This would be the time to get the lefty off balance. Powell found his stride. 2 strikes. It's his call now.
The 0-2 misses down low. 1-0 Mohawks here in this bottom half of the first. Stallions trying to keep it a 1-run lead. Here's the 1-2. That one's hit into right center field. Chasing is Ford. It gets over his head. That ball is going to kick up around the wall. It's a bases clearing double here for Zach Eldred. And in a blink of an eye, it's 4-0 Mohawks.
That's a similar play to what we saw yesterday with Mike Quayle, where they just lost their stepping in a way, and they were at the ball. They were at the ball, under it, ready to catch it, and just kind of went past them.
And the worst part about all of that, AJ, is that Powell was 1 strike away from getting out of that inning. It was a non-competitive pitch. He threw a fastball, basically middle.
He won't do that again.
Zepek hits this one over to the right side. We'll go foul. Zepek, the catcher, up to bat here. Eldred is over there at second. It's 4-0 Mohawks.
Just taking it back to Eldred, Dan, just knowing you have an efficient pitcher and even a more efficient hitter, it's really outstanding. It stands out.
That one misses off the outside. The last Mercy Rule-esque type game we saw between these two was an 8-0 Stallion win at home. That was over the Mohawks. The 1-2. Get Zepek swinging. The scoreboard said 1-2. It was actually 1-1, so excuse me.
Same scenario as last time, Dan. This time he needs that last strike to get out of this and let the bats roll.
Zepek fouls that one off himself. The last time we saw the Mohawks absolutely dominate the Stallions was in a 10-0 victory at Cantine Field in 9 innings. In that one, the Mohawks didn't score till the 5th inning, but after that put up 3 runs in the 5th, 6th, and 8th, and then added 1 more in the 9th to make it 10-0. The 1-2 misses on the inside corner, and the count will go to 2-2. 4 runs on 4 hits here to start the day for the Mohawks. Clearly a little bit angry with their performance last night, coming out firing to start this game. Powell can't locate the off speed, and the count will go full.
Definitely a different game from yesterday to today. 4 hits in the first inning. It took him about 6 or 7 innings to get 4 hits, and then it just built up from there.
The payoff. Misses outside. That ball gets past Yaman. Going to third is Eldred. And now there's runners at first and third. Rich Doobie decides now is the time to come and calm down Powell. It's been an outing to forget, and he's only 2/3 of an inning through.
Coach Doobie just trying to get into his head. He's seen this happen before. He's seen a breakdown of an inning with hits getting around the field, and he's just trying to calm him down a little bit. Get him back on the track, the .73 ERA track, the one that he was on before this start.
Yeah, I mean, Doobie knows how to settle down guys better than anybody. Of course, was the 2008 Phillies pitching coach when they won the World Series. With the Stallions so far this year, he is 1-1-1 as head coach, with real head coach Colin Martin having the birth of his second child. Huge congratulations to him. Doobie stepping in for the time being. Stallions with lots of work to do when they come up to bat in the top half of the second, but need to focus on what's in front of them right now. Rob Rispoli to the dish.
Rob Rispoli.
Sorry about a little bit technical difficulties there. Managing the heat here in Amsterdam, our Wi-Fi hotspot overheating right now just due to the amount of heat that we are facing. It's a 1-0 count. There's 2 outs here to Matt McIntyre. He takes upstairs. Eddie Yaman grounded out over to third base for the second out of this inning. Stallions have gone down in order to start this game. It's a 4-pitch walk here to Matt McIntyre, and for back-to-back innings, there's a runner on first for Saugerties.
The thing about the Stallions that never leaves or never changes is they'll always have runners on base, Dan. The question is, are they going around third?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. A guy who loves to get to third is Byram Hott. He has plenty of power in his bat. First pitch to him, in there for strike one. Hott so far this season has been one of the better hitters on this team. .291 average so far. That's through 24 games. McIntyre hovers off of first. Here's the pitch. Finds the outside corner for strike two. McIntyre's at first. It's an 0-2 count here to Byram Hott. 2 outs in this top half of the second. That one misses outside.
Dan, let's take it back 5 days to July 4th, right? 10 players on the Stallions above a 300 average. Now we're July 9th. Only 3 players are in the 300s. A rough 5-day stint for the Stallions at the bat.
And the record also shows that. Hott chops this one to the right side foul. In their last 6 games, they're only 3-2-1.
We haven't seen that yet this year so far. Just this little 6-game stint.
1-2 count here to Byram Hott. McIntyre leads off of first. The pitch. Misses outside once again. It's 2-2. It seems like right now Shattuck is coming in around 93 miles per hour, but a new Power 5 guy like Byram Hott isn't scared of any speed.
Speed is the name of the game. The faster it comes in, the further it goes out.
Called strike 3. Hott gets rung up for the 3rd out of this inning. So far, it's a night to forget for the Stallions as we head to the bottom half of the second. Mohawks are leading 4-0. Bottom half of the second here from Shuttleworth Park. The Mohawks are up 4-0. Now is a time for Liam Powell, who's on the mound for his second inning of work, to just calm things down.
Had a rough first inning, 4 hits, 4 runs, but it was not totally his fault. He put the ball in play, and the team behind him did not have him 100%. And that's just an inning of play, and that happens. But now we're in the second. Things got to change.
We see Ben Keefe warming in the bullpen for Saugerties. Well, they'll see when and if they decide to go with him. First batter that Powell is going to have to face here in this second inning is the 10-hole hitter, Sebastian Harden. First pitch to Harden gets him swinging for strike 1.
Harden this year, one of the Mohawks' 300 hitters, batting a .314 through 19 games, 6 RBIs.
He smokes that one to left field. It's a leadoff base hit. It gets past Justin Ford out there in left field. The defensive errors continue, and what should have been a single for Sebastian Harden turns into a leadoff double.
5 hits, a few errors. Things just not going the Stallions' way, Dan, so far, and it's only the bottom of the second.
That'll go down as a double. They don't tag Ford with the error right there, but that's now 2 plays out there in left field that he should have made to start this game.
This is when the leaders stand up and have a talk with their team and get the jitters out now, because a real leader, this team is a must-win, and they need to come back.
Javar Williams will step to the dish. He tries to lay down a bunt. Williams started off this game with a leadoff double. It's the top of the order for the Mohawks. And Williams is looking to drive home Harden, who now starts the inning once again with a leadoff double.
And so far this season, Williams having a great season. A .315 average.
Hits this one over to right field. Cuello under it. He's got it. Tagging to third is Harden. He will make it there safely.
Every Mohawk just doing a job. All claps around for their side. Just putting the ball in play, allowing runners to advance.
We originally saw Williams try and show bunt, but he moves the runner over anyway.
Either way, bunt or sack, fly, advance at third, both work.
It'll be Tyler Figueroa here with 1 out in the bottom half of the second. Figueroa struck out. He was the second batter of this ball game. Pokes this one into right field. Cuello charging. It's going to drop in front of him. Here's the throw home. He's not in time. He is safe. The throw seemed on line. It seemed as if Yaman got it down, but Harden's just able to get under it. It's an RBI single for Tyler Figueroa.
That's just outstanding effort by Cuello there, knowing, all right, it's going to drop, and seeing that Harden didn't advance home, thinking sack fly possibility. Almost got him there a half step away.
It's now 5-0 Mohawks. Everything that can go wrong is going wrong for Saugerties to start off this ball game, and they've only been out there defensively for 4 outs. It'll be Evan Hager, the right fielder, stepping in now. Hager tried to show bunt. He's not able to pull it back in time for strike 1.
Just shows you the coaching strategy by the Mohawks. Everyone on base, move everyone around. And it shows you why they put up a lot of runs. They're going bunt in a 5-0 lead, 1 out.
Powell's able to find the zone. It's quickly 0-2. Here's the 0-2. Misses outside. We go back to the errors, AJ. It's been a big problem for this team. 13 in their last 7, but primarily highlighted by 7 last night. It's been a true struggle out there on defense.
It has, and it really just comes down to being more simple. I feel like everything's so more complicated than it has to be. And in baseball, it's a simple game. It's play-by-play, catch-by-catch, hit-by-hit.
Figueroa is over there at first. They will now tag Ford with an error, so 1 error is on the board in this game for the Stallions. That will now mark 14 in their last 7 ball games.
It's averaging out to 2 hours a game, and 2 hours could be the whole swing of momentum, Dan, and we've seen it before.
We saw it right in front of our eyes last night. 5-0 Mohawks. That's a balk right there on Liam Powell. Or excuse me, it looked as if the umpire pointed to balk, but Evan Hager called time just as Figueroa was stealing second.
Very close time out there.
So Figueroa stays over there at first. There's one out here in this bottom half of the second. Saugerties is trailing by 5. That one's fouled right back. Going again there was Figueroa. We haven't been able to see in person yet the arm of Eddie Yaman down there to second base.
Especially with turf, you have the ability to bounce it and get there even quicker than on the throw. So Yaman definitely has to put that into consideration.
2-2 count. There's one out. Powell checks over. Figueroa going, the hit and run. Worked to perfection, but a beautiful play by Matt McIntyre. He's able to snatch it for out number 2.
McIntyre has been a consistent success at first this year so far, making plays that most wouldn't make. But we talked about the tight infrastructure, Dan. We talked about 280 both sides, smaller than Cantine. And I feel like there's been a lot of more mishaps in just the first inning on a smaller field, so it's ironic.
Yeah, one ball dropped out there in between Bach and Ford in left center field, and then in this inning, Ford let a ball into the outfield get by him to score run number 5. That was just a base hit to left field that he couldn't field cleanly. That was Sebastian Harden, who has eventually come around to score. So one of the runs in this game is unearned. The 0-1. Misses outside. Cade Ladahoff at the dish, the extra hitter, was hit by the pitch in his first at-bat. Eventually came around to score for the third run of the game.
Ladahoff playing in every game this season for the Mohawks, which is 26. He has the highest average in the PGCBL East and West, batting a .407.
He smacks this one to left field. It will get down. Coming around to score is Figueroa. It's a stand-up double here for Cade Ladahoff, and it's 6-0 Mohawks.
Ladahoff, there's a reason he's batting a .407 with 16 RBIs and 4 home runs. He's a hitter. He's an aggressive hitter at the plate.
Liam Powell's night is over. It was short-lived, an inning and 2/3, 6 runs, 7 hits, only 5 of those being earned. Lots to think about for him. Was put in a tough spot to start this game. Ladahoff is over at second. There's 2 outs here in this bottom half of the second. Ben Keefe on to pitch. We'll be right back. Dan Chalm with you alongside AJ DiBenedetto here in the Pack Hub broadcast booth. A sullen mood throughout the Stallions dugout as we head to the bottom half of the second with 2 outs. Cade Ladahoff is over at second, and Ben Keefe, the lefty, is on to pitch in relief.
Stallions really looking for a change of momentum here, down 6-0, only in the bottom of the 7th, giving up 7 hits. They have an error of their own, and only 2 outs. This inning is not over yet. You have a man on second. With the 375 hitter coming up.
First batter that he is going to face here is Jimmy Dion. He had a single in that first inning and eventually came around to score. First pitch here from Keefe is a strike.
Keefe so far 7 games, one of those being a start. He's pitched 12 2/3 innings. He gave up 13 hits. He has 16 strikeouts though, with only allowing 2 doubles and supporting a 4.26.
This one's chopped up the middle. Going to be a tough play for Travella. Throws across his body. It's not in time. Infield single here for Jimmy Dion. You really go back for the Stallions team to 2 out RBIs. There's been 4 in this game so far, and if they were able to just get that final strike, this game could easily be 2-0.
No doubt about that. 2-0 could be the score, but it is 6-0. You look at last game, Saugerties came to Amsterdam. The defense was unstoppable, making plays hit off the pitcher, 2 of those diving plays. Just a different, I don't want to say mentality, but an approach.
Well, also, Rich Rodriguez was out there, and he's a defensive specialist for this team. He's out tonight with right forearm soreness. The 0-1. He gets Wilson swinging for strike 2. Wilson struck out in that first inning. 0 for 1 tonight. Trying to extend the lead for the Mohawks to 7 runs.
We saw Wilson in his first at-bat go lefty on the left side of the box. Now he is on the right side of the
Switch
box.
hitter. The 0-2. Gets him swinging for, I wanted to say strike 3, but once again, that's on me. The scoreboard out there in right field signaled 0-2, but it was only 1-1. Stallions aren't playing well. I'm off my game. Everything is going wrong here tonight. The 1-2. Heading over to second. There is Dion. That one misses. It's into the outfield. It'll be another error on the Stallions. Dion will go to third. Ladahoff will score, and it's 7-0 Mohawks.
That's just a snap throw by Yaman. It's a high pitch, and those high pitches are the hardest ones to get the runner out at second. And the turf not helping, giving it a hard bounce for Travella there at second.
7-0 Mohawks here in the bottom half of the second. They put up 4 in the first, now 3 here in the second inning. And if you look back, really wasn't very necessary for a throw. That one's hit into left center field. Coming in to score is Dion. Going over to second is Wilson. He will stop there. It's an RBI double for Liam Wilson. And it's nearly as if for the Stallions now they want to throw the white flag on the field already. It's 8-0 here in the second.
9 hits in 2 innings. That's the first time we have ever seen here when we're on the losing side. We've seen it where we've done it on the winning side. But this is the first time the Stallions have seen this type of just, I don't even know the word to use, but just not going the way that it should.
2 outs here. It'll bring up Zach Eldred. Like we mentioned, 6 runs have been scored with 2 outs in the inning. In the first and the second, there's been plenty of chances to get out of it, but everything is going wrong here tonight. The 0-1 misses down low, and you thought, hey, maybe this game could be a momentum builder. The Stallions haven't beaten the Mohawks back-to-back since 2017, but it's just not seeming so tonight.
Definitely not seeming so. And like you said, 6 runs on 2 outs. It really shows you 2 outs means nothing until you get the third.
Keefe misses that one outside. It's 2-1. Keefe so far is only responsible for one of the runs. And now Powell will leave with the final line of 7 runs, 6 earned in just an inning and 2/3 pitched. Powell misses outside, and it's 3-1.
Looking for a strike now. Keefe, 2 outs. There's not a ton of pressure on him. He has a man on second, 3-1 count. This is the time to get the out and just roll with the bats. Still early in the game, only bottom of the second.
That one is fouled off. Seemed like whatever Keith Griffin told his players after last night's loss kicked some motivation into them, that's for sure. Completely different showing here tonight.
Most definitely a different showing. Told them they're the #1 team in the east of the PGCBL. They got to play like it.
That one misses upstairs. It's a walk here to Zach Eldred, and the inning still no end in sight. Luke Zepek will come up with 2 outs, and Casey and I talked about it last night in the 9th. The bases were loaded with 2 outs for the Mohawks, and it still felt like there were no outs in the inning. No out against this Mohawk team is easy to come by.
Yeah, no outs, 1 out, 2 outs, 3 outs. It's all the same for the Mohawks. Hit until you got to get off the field.
Going over to third here, throw down is safe. It's a double steal. Wilson moves up. Eldred goes over to second, and now a ball into the outfield will make it 10-0. Stallions haven't even had their old lineup up to bat yet, and they only threw 9 hitters out there tonight. Amsterdam is 2 guys away from batting around in this inning. That one misses outside. It's 1-1. And also the Mohawks are batting 10 tonight. Just speaks to how well Amsterdam has played here at Shuttleworth. The 1-1. Misses down low. It's now 2-1.
Dan, like you said, they play amazing at Shuttleworth. They play amazing in general. And that's why they're a very popular and looked upon program.
13-1 here at Shuttleworth Park. 8-4 on the road. 21-5 overall, riding a 2-game losing streak, and the way things are going, seems like that is going to get broken tonight. It's a 2-2 count. There's 2 outs here in the bottom, to say the least. 10-0 to the Mohawks through just 2 innings of play. Stallions, on average, get blown out by the Mohawks around once a year. In 2021, it was a 10-1 loss on July 4th at home. 11-0 on June 23rd versus Amsterdam in 2022. And then in 2023, they had a 17-4 loss against the Mohawks on July 19th. And this year, they've lost 10-0 at home against the Mohawks. But all those losses coming at home. When they come to Shuttleworth Park, they historically keep it very close. And the 2 matchups this season have only lost at a maximum of 3 runs.
Those stats there, keeping it close at Shuttleworth, just not the same today. A little bit different out of the chute. We saw 4 in the bottom of the first, 6 in the bottom of the second. Stallions pushing forward to make a comeback here the best they can.
Ryan Resio will come up here in the top half of the third. Saugerties still doesn't have their first hit of this ball game. The line right now is 0-0 and 1 error. That category has terrorized them the past few days. Resio pops this one up to right center field. Coming in on it there is Williams, but it'll be Hager who fields for out number 1.
Stallions looking to just get the momentum that they need. Dan, no hits yet, and they've gone almost through the full lineup. A very good pitcher on the mound, but as soon as the Stallions start hitting, we've seen it through multiple games this season so far. When the bats start going, the bats start going. And there's not many teams that can stop them.
Mike Cuello to the dish now, and I guess at this point you don't want to necessarily surrender, but you look ahead to tomorrow, a Mohawk Valley at home, a team that you lost and you tied to in the doubleheader on the weekend. And you got to think that's a must-win for this team at this point. I mean, it's getting pretty late down the stretch.
Not a lot of room for error here, Dan. You got to get win after win, and you look at the standings. Mohawks 2 games ahead. After this game, depending, could be down a game, could be down 3. And then you look at it, we do have more games than the Mohawks overall. They're going into a doubleheader against Albany. They'll gain a game or 2 on us there. And it really just comes down to getting the crucial wins like these out of the way so that you don't got to worry about winning against a team like this.
Yeah, like you mentioned, the Mohawks are playing 5 games in their next 3 days, the first of those 5 being here tonight, then a doubleheader against Albany tomorrow, and then a doubleheader against Glens Falls on Thursday. It is 8 games overall for them this week in just 6 days. Tyler Bach now to the dish, top of the lineup for the Stallions after Mike Quayle walked. First pitch to him is a strike.
Stallions seeing a lot of first pitch fastballs, not a lot of curveballs from the Mohawks so far, and we're in the top of the 3rd. Fastball, you got to see it and attack and engage.
Strategy now for Saugerties, just take it at-bat by at-bat. Each guy just trying to work on themselves individually. And, hey, if you muster out a comeback, great. But just try and get some positives out of this game right now. Off-speed finds the zone for strike 2.
Like you said, Dan, you put it the best way. Individual improvement after this game. Just picking up the mistakes that you or a teammate made and telling them, hey, let's work on this, and I got to fix this, and we got to do this.
That one runs in and nearly nabbed Bach. He was able to get out of the way, so the count will go to 2-2.
Came back so fast that Quayle didn't even have a second to run there, to steal the base.
Dimensions at this park all around very short. 2-2 count here to Tyler Bach. The pitch gets him swinging with the off speed. That's been a point of struggle for Tyler Bach this season. Unable to get his bat to ball when he sees an off speed pitch.
Trivella now in a position where he wants a hit. He's always eager for the hits. Right below the 200, the 300
He went
mark.
0 for 3 last night.
Yeah, he's eager. He likes to stay on that 300 mark, and he got right below it. He's batting a 298 now.
That one misses down low for ball 1. You might be thinking, hey, maybe if Andrew Amato's in this game, the scoreline would look different. But you could have Ethan Conrad, Andrew Amato, Fritz Genther in this lineup right now, and it would look the exact same. This one's chopped to the left side. Wilson throws to first in time for out number 3. Stallions still have no hits here through 3 innings. Mohawks are leading by 10. Bottom half of the 3rd here from Shuttleworth Park. Mohawks are up by 10. They put up 4 in the first, 6 in the second. Puts them in double digits. And it'll be Sebastian Harden coming to the dish to lead off for back-to-back innings.
Harden started last inning off with that single to left field, and it just scurried by Justin Ford, allowing it to be a double.
That one's in there for strike one. Stallions only carrying 4 guys on their bench tonight, May, Rodriguez, Blackmore, and Amato. It's a lot lighter than what we saw in the earlier part of the season, with lots of guys coming and going at this point in the season. We'll see if at any point Rich Doobie decides to make a move to the bench.
Like you said, Dan, only 4 options, 2 of them injured right now. Amato, the bruised hand, Rodriguez, the bruised forearm.
This one's grounded over to third. Recio stabs it, throws to first. It's in time for out number 1.
And then when you talk about the other 2 options, you have May and Blackmore, and then that's the catcher and first base, who both of them don't really play much other positions.
And we saw that come back to bite the Stallions in that first game of this 2-game set in the 9th inning, with Ryan Recio having to play second base. This one's chopped to Trivella. He fields cleanly, throws to first. And Yaman was over at first base in the 9th inning, 2 guys out of position.
Yeah, multiple out-of-position players there. But Keith really forgetting about those first 2 and is just pitching the pitch now. He's doing a good job. Quick 2 outs. And, keeping it in the infield and, letting the infield make the plays. This is the time to really step up and show, all right, I'm a leader. I'm going to forget about the first 2 innings. The game starts 0-0 now.
That one misses upstairs. It's the first time in this game that the Stallions have gotten the leadoff hitter for the Mohawks out and have gotten back-to-back outs. Keith misses upstairs. It's 2-0.
It's really hard pitching against the Mohawks. When you have 13 or 12 guys batting above the 300, you look at any other league, any other place, batting above 300, that's Hall of Fame stats.
You speak of it, that one's into left field. It's a 2-out base knock here for Tyler Figueroa.
Figueroa here for the first about 11 games of the season for the Mohawks, then took a designated leave and tried to figure out some things and came back. I think he was injured, if I remember correctly. I think it was a right leg injury. Took a few weeks off. Mohawks still strived, and now he's back and allowing them to even have more potential to strive.
Comparable to basically Ethan Conrad coming back to your squad. 2 outs here in this third. First pitch from Keith to Evan Hager is a strike.
Mohawks not taking the foot off the gas. They still have 2 guys in the bullpen warming up. They're ready to keep on firing.
That one nearly was thrown past first base. And the one guy we do see warming up in the pen is Matthew Hayberger. The Alabama lefty tops 97 miles per hour and is one of the most elite arms on this squad.
Talk about elite arms. He describes it perfectly. 97 lefty fastball. You don't find that a lot of places. And when you're one of the main relief pitchers doing a 2.45 for Alabama, I mean, that's almost incomparable to most pitchers in this league.
1-1 count. There's 2 outs here in the bottom half of the third. Chopped foul.
Yaman ready for Figueroa to go. Even though it is 10-0 with 2 outs, Mohawks show no remorse. They're ready to steal. They're ready to bunt. They're ready to bring in new relief pitchers. They're a team that likes to see the W next to the name while showing improvement.
They're not a team that likes to lose. And Keith Griffin was furious after last night's defeat down at Cantine Field. That one ending 7-4 in the Stallions' favor. This one's chopped over to Hot. He has some trouble with it. It's another error. 2 in this game. Third unofficial error. I don't know what to say at this point.
It's definitely a frustrating game for all sides of the Stallions. That is Hot's second error in these past 2 days. Obviously frustrated with himself. He knew the ball was going to take a bounce and kind of took that half a step back.
Hesitated.
Took that half a step back, and as soon as a fielder takes that half a step back, that allows a lot more potential for the ground ball.
Cade Ladahoff at the dish. He's 1 for 1 tonight. Had that RBI double in the second. Three of the Mohawks hitters have had 3 at-bats here tonight in just 3 innings. Ladahoff is the 4th. Runners are at first and second. There's 2 outs. The pitch misses upstairs.
Remember all of the damage done by the Mohawks. Most of it, 8 runs out of the 10, 2 outs. So there is 2 outs in this game with the ball on a strike. But with Cade Ladahoff, he proved us wrong last time. Hit one down the third base line with 2 outs, allowed 2 to come around. Keith's got to notice that.
That one's hit to Hot. He fields it cleanly this time. Is able to throw to second to get the Stallions out of this inning, and they're able to put up their first 0 of the ball game. Finally nice to hear that. We head to the 4th inning. Mohawks still ahead by 10. Back here in Amsterdam, we take a look at our Pac Hub in-game stats so far. The Mohawks leading in every single category besides strikeouts. And isn't that fitting? Stallions have a 3 in this game. Mohawks lead it 10-0. New pitcher on the mound here for the Mohawks is number 11, Parker Akins. He's sporting a 0 ERA this year through 8 innings pitched.
He just pitched about 3 days ago, just an inning against Boonville. In that inning, faced 3 batters, 3 strikeouts. When we look at his overall season, he's appeared in 6 games, none of those being started. A 2-0 record, supporting a 0 ERA. In just 8 innings, 13 Ks, and allowing 2 hits. So a very efficient pitcher.
First batter here that he's going to face is Nate Manley, and it's a first pitch strike out of the hand of Parker Akins.
Manley this year, a .390 run through 14 games, 8 RBIs and 8 walks.
He takes down low. Manley in his first at-bat got caught looking. That wasn't a full count. And at that time, the inning ended as Mario Trevella was caught over at second, sliding off the base.
Akins just finished high school about a month ago, committed to Rhode Island with his teammate, who also just graduated high school and going to Rhode Island, Manny Santos.
We saw Manny Santos last night in his outing, just a singular inning, 2 runs, no earned.
He did have 4 strikeouts, though, that inning.
Akins misses inside and back-to-back pitches. It's now 3-1. The 3-1. Chopped over to short. Rispoli grabs, throws to first in time for out number 1.
Rispoli, a very clean shortstop. The Mohawks here have the advantage. They know how the ball jumps. They know how it goes. And definitely a pro in being in the infield.
With 1 out here in this top half of the 4th, it'll bring up Justin Ford, the left fielder. Ford flew out into center field. Javar Williams made a spectacular diving catch to deny him of an extra base hit. He takes a first pitch ball.
Ford here, tied for the 4th highest batting average in the PGCBL East and West, sitting at a .379 through 23 games.
He takes outside, and it's 2-0. Thinking back to his first at-bat, Williams nearly Supermaned out there in center field. His speed so effective and was able to deny Ford with a leadoff double. And at that point, the game was only 4-0 as well.
Yeah, and through these 23 games, he has 19 RBIs. That's tied for the most on the team. And that's what Conrad had 2 weeks before he left. So Conrad really made a statement. And Justin Ford is really living up to it. He's playing a great, just at the bat, he's just doing fantastic.
He takes inside for ball 3. Ford batted .638 in high school. Didn't play that much with Seton Hall this past season, but I'll tell you one thing. He's going to be in that Pirates lineup come spring. The 2-2. Misses upstairs. It was 3-2, A walk there for Justin Ford once again. The scoreboard. It's tricking me, AJ, out there in center field.
It's so attractive to look at. You got the miles per hour, you got everything, and then got the wrong balls
count.
And strikes count.
So despite the Stallions having no hits in this game, they've had a base runner in every single inning, have walked at least once. It'll bring Eddie Yaman, the former Mohawk, here to the dish with 1 out, and Ford over at first. He fouls that one straight back for strike 1.
Yaman so far, this is only his 5th game of the season, a late addition to the Stallions. And his 4 games so far, batting a .231 with 6 RBIs in just 4 games. So really putting the ball in play, allowing his team to round third and touch home.
Was the pack-up player of the game last night. Went 2 for 4 against Amsterdam. Delivered a clutched 2 RBI double. He takes down low. That one gets away from Zepek. And moving over to second is Justin Ford, first runner in scoring position in this game for the Stallions.
First time at top of the 4th. Stallions need to get used to it a little more throughout this game if they want to even be remotely close.
Just chip away, chip away, chip away. That's the name of the game.
Down 10, you can't. One batter isn't going to make it. It can be 10-2. It has to go batter to batter to batter.
And Keith Griffin's going to want to come out and talk this one over. Griffin taking absolutely no chances after last night. With the Stallions even having a base runner at second in a 10-0 game, he wants to go out there and settle his pitcher down.
That's a coach that really saw trouble and it was like, yeah, let's fix it up quickly. It's now or I have to come out later when the score is 10-something.
So Griffin comes off the mound. Eddie Yaman at the dish. Justin Ford is at second. It's a 10-0 ball game here in the top half of the fourth. Aiken steps off. The 1-1. Yaman skies this one over to the shortstop area. Rispoli under it, and he's got it. And there's 2 outs here in this top half of the fourth.
Stallions need to find a way to get Ford around third and find home. If he doesn't, it's going to be very hard to chip away when you finally get someone in the scoring position. It took 4 innings. You got it now. Get him around home.
I think more importantly, they would just like a base hit at this point. They still have none on the board here in the top half of the fourth.
Most definitely. A base hit will definitely work.
At least get something going in this game. Ford is at second. There's 2 outs. McIntyre at the dish. He chops that one foul. Stallions are at home tomorrow to Mohawk Valley. They'll have off on Thursday before hosting Watertown on Friday and then traveling up to the Glens Falls Dragons on Saturday. We'll have all those games here for you on the Stallions YouTube network. Make sure to like and subscribe. The 0-1. McIntyre takes inside, counts 1-1. You look deeper into this season, if the Stallions want to make it to the PGCBL Championship, they're going to have to learn how to win here at Shuttleworth Park. That one finds the inside part of the plate. Last year, Saugerties fell here 7-6, but in the year they won it in 2021, came up here to Amsterdam and were able to defeat the Mohawks in the semifinals and then eventually win the PGCBL championship. They're going to have to find a way to conquer their rivals here in Amsterdam. The 2-1. McIntyre slaps that one over to third. Throwing to first is Wilson in time for out number 3. Saugerties still no hits here through 4 innings. They've left a runner on base in their last 3. We head to the bottom half of the fourth. Amsterdam still up by 10. Back here in the bottom half of the fourth. Dan Shalom with you. alongside A.J. DiBenedetto. Stallions still trailing by 10. They don't have a hit on the board. They only have 2 errors. That's the only number that's currently filling the box score, and it's a perfect representation of their performance here tonight.
This ties for them being down the most deficit that they've had all year. They had an 11-1 loss to Amsterdam. And then we talk about just keeping it close within the other tough matchups. This is a tough matchup. We saw it yesterday. We saw them get the win. And today we thought, all right, we found momentum, and Stallions just came out not the way that anyone expected.
Keefe skies that off-speed pitch to start this bottom half of the fourth. Jimmy Dion leading things off here for Amsterdam. Keefe misses upstairs.
Keefe, such an effective 2 outs to start off the bottom of the third, excuse me. Just looking to get right back on that track.
This one's grounded to Trivella. He fields, throws to first for a quick out number 1.
And we look at the 2024 season so far. Stallions in their last 10, 5-4-1, and the Mohawks in their last 10, 8-2. Mohawks the best record in their last 10 throughout the East Division of the PGCBL.
If the Mohawks beat Boonville on Saturday night, they would have actually been 10-0 in their last 10 heading into that game against the Stallions at Cantine Field. If you're the Stallions right now, you're on your knees thanking the Lumberjacks for that loss against the Mohawks, as you're most likely going to drop this game. And if the Mohawks did beat the Lumberjacks on Saturday night, the Stallions would be at risk of going 5 games back after this game.
And damn, we're approaching, like you said, game 28 or 29, if I remember. There's only 44, 45 games in a season. You don't have a ton of room to make error here. This is a very short stint season with a ton of games being played. You go down 5, it's going to be very hard to come back.
0-2 misses outside, and the thing that you don't want is to be relying on other teams for help. You want to control your own destiny down the stretch, but it's seeming like if Saugerties does want to finish first, they're going to need some help from their in-conference foes.
Most definitely going to need some help. Every team needs help. The Stallions just need it in that moment.
This one's chopped to Yaman. It is foul. Count will stay at 1-2. Just 3 more matchups left on the docket between these two squads. Stallions will come back here to Shuttleworth Park next Thursday, July 18th, and then we'll host the Mohawks for the last time of the season on July 21st before finishing out the season series right back here at Shuttleworth on Tuesday, July 23rd.
3 matchups, 3 very, very important matchups if we keep it between that 2 to 3 game margin. If the Stallions just keep on rolling as they do, they keep himself in this match.
Keefe catches the inside corner for strike 3. He's been efficient here in this fourth, and there's 2 outs.
And Dan, let me tell you a stat. I was doing some research before. Throughout 2024, Saugerties is outscoring their opponents through the first 28, 207 to 91.
Eldred just flares that one into center field for a 2-out base knock. Stallions with 3 wins against the Mohawks so far this season. Last time they did that was in 2021 when they won the PGCBL championship. And the last time they had 4 was in 2019. They went 4-7 across 11 games against Amsterdam.
Great block there by Yaman. Although the score is 10-0, this team is showing great spirits. You're staying in the game like any baseball team would. It doesn't matter the score until the last pitch is thrown and the last out is recorded.
The pitch to Zepek gets him swinging for strike one. This Mohawk team is so hard to beat. They've only had a 2-game losing streak once this season, that being, of course, in the last 2 games. And then in 2021 was their last one. The last 3-game losing streak was in 2018. Keefe hits Zepek there on the foot. He'll take first base. And they've never had a 4-game losing streak in their entire franchise history.
Makes it believable. When you have 22 Power 5 guys in 21, when you have 15 in 22, 15 in 23, and 16 in 2024, you're going to have a competitive lineup when you have a good coaching staff, a good home field, a good organization. Things don't change. If it's not broken, you don't fix it.
And it's not to say that the Stallions aren't all of those things.
No.
But the talent gap has definitely been prevalent throughout the last few years between these two squads.
Yes, and each team in the PGCBL following the Mohawks, taking it as a thank you, you entered something new into the PGCBL. And each team is incorporating it in their own way.
That one gets past Yaman, just sloppy right there. And both runners will move up 90 feet. Didn't get his drop and block right there. Just kind of did a split, and the ball got by him.
That's the first pass ball we've seen from Eddie Yaman, and it's not the time for it. 2 outs, and we see Mohawks and 2 outs. They don't correlate the best in the Stallions' way.
Well, they're still looking to add more. 8 of their runs in this game have scored on 2 outs. Keefe is able to find the zone for strike one.
Crucial out here. We will be heading to the top of the 5th if we get this 3rd out. And you got to keep in mind, after the 7th inning, if it is still 10 runs, this game is over.
Jake Mihalik is warming in the pen for Saugerties, but Keefe trying to get out of this inning. Resio Fields throws across the diamond. It's in time for out number 3. Stallions have put up back-to-back zeros against the Mohawks after allowing 10 in their first 2 innings. We head to the 5th. Still 10-0. Top half of the 5th, Stallions are still searching for their first hit of the ball game. And you got to think maybe it's due to Andrew Amato not being in this lineup.
Definitely one of the highest leaders on the Stallions team without even thinking about it twice, Dan. The guy is a big part. Some people call him the glue. He really gets all the team together and allows them to really conjoin together. And you forget, all these guys, there's 50 states in the U.S., and, you know, Amato and all these players are from different states. They play at different colleges. Not a lot of people have relations with the other people. It's a summer team, and Amato just a huge leader, not in the lineup there today to, you know, force his team, hey, we're down 2, we're down 3. Forget about it. Let's get this back. And now that we're down 10, it's very hard to come back. You know what I mean?
He's been a guy that's been a true leader on this team. Finally broke through last night. His first at-bat of the ball game went yard in the bottom half of the first. Pete Daniel comes in over at shortstop, so it's the first defensive substitution of the game here for the Mohawks. They made 7 last night. We'll see how many Keith Griffin decides is appropriate tonight.
Well, up 10-0, top of the fifth, the change your shortstop. Rispoli had absolutely no issues, no errors, and if I count correctly, he made 4 plays. And
I think the reason is because he grounded out 3 times. If you're Keith Griffin, he doesn't like when his guys, get out twice in a row, 3 times in a row. He's not afraid to go to the bench and immediately replace a player.
Well, the Mohawks known for their deep depth and really shows.
First pitch here to Hott finds the zone for strike 1.
Hott, the recently committed Louisville from the Pac Cub portal, just trying to get his feet wet around a few singles in this game, just up that average above the 300 mark.
He hits that one over to right field. It is tailing, going to be a tough play, but over there on right is Hager for out number 1.
The speed on Hager there. Wow. Fast, and even faster.
I would say now that's 2 expected base hits that the Stallions have had to the outfield that just haven't fallen. They still have a 0 in the hit category, and at this rate, this game could be over in the 7th. The last thing they want to do is get mercied and also get no hit by the Mohawks. Ryan Rescio now steps in. If Amsterdam goes on to win this game, it'll be their 999th win in franchise history, 1 away from 1,000, and they'll have a chance to get it tomorrow against the Albany Baseball Club.
They are at UAlbany for a doubleheader too, so
it's a quick turnaround for these guys. It's a 12:30 start tomorrow out in Albany for Amsterdam.
Early start.
First game at 12:30, second game at 3. Here's the 1-1 to Rescio. He fouls it off, and that's 1-2. Here's the 1-2. Rescio is able to sling it over to third, and it's the first hit of the ball game here for the Stallions. The no-hitter is broken.
I want to say we jinxed that in a good way. We just talked about it, and the next hit was a single. That's a good thing.
At the very least, Saugerties will not be no hit here tonight.
Definitely now. Now it's time for the Stallions to put together a few runs and definitely make a fight.
Mike Cuello into the box. Rescio's at first. He takes strike 1. Cuello walking in his first at-bat. That was in the 3rd. Akins comes set. Two straight fastballs right down the pipe, and it's quickly 0-2.
Cuello not 100% happy, mostly uncertain with that one. Left high on our end behind home plate.
That one misses upstairs. The game tomorrow against Mohawk Valley for the Stallions is going to be crucial. Mohawk Valley sits in 3rd place. They're 14-10-3, 6 games back of first place, and they'll only be 3 games back of the Stallions heading into tomorrow if Saugerties can't mount an improbable comeback. Cuello with a feeble swing there for out number 2.
An uncertain swing there for Cuello. I think he thought more off speed, saw fastball, and adjusted.
It'll bring up Tyler Bach here with 2 outs. I was looking back at yesterday's game, and probably about 7 collective fly balls to the outfield from both of these sides would have been home runs here at Shuttleworth Park. It's just crazy to think how much a baseball game can change in a singular day on the offensive side of things, from the dimensions of the park, everything all around.
Really, speed will match the dimensions, and there's obviously speed on both of these teams. So when you had a bigger field, it's needed to be used more, and it's more effective.
That one catches the outside part of the zone. That's quickly 0-2 here to Tyler Bach.
Bach here with Resio on first, just looking to advance him in any way possible. He has speed. He's got to use it.
The 0-2. Bach once again goes down on the off speed. It's back-to-back strikeouts for him. Stallions do get their first hit of the ball game, though, here in the top half of the 5th. Mohawks still lead at 10-0. Bottom half of the 5th, Jake Mihalik on for the Stallions to pitch. Ben Keefe leaves the game 2 innings and a third, 4 hits, just a singular earned run, a walk and a strikeout. He really settled in well after getting out of that second inning.
Yeah, started off with Liam Powell, came into the game, mostly known as the closing pitcher for the Stallions. Comes in tight situations in the 7th, 8th, or 9th, and always finds a way out of it. That came in with a 0.73 ERA, and just let up 9 runs in 2 innings, all earned.
The pitching just not lining up today for the Stallions. It's clearly a bullpen day across the board. This one's chopped to third. Resio grabs it, throws all the way across. It's in time for out number 1, but we saw Dertinger pitch yesterday. He was very solid, and then we saw Nick Pettit pitch against Mohawk Valley and a few of those other solidified starters, but none of their schedules lining up to pitch here tonight.
Yeah, and that's the thing about pitching, you know, when you go 2 or 3 innings, you got to take a few days off. It's not like every other sport where you can just go, and pitching, especially with the injuries that we have nowadays, the UCL, the Tommy John surgery, all these other issues. It really makes you careful because all these players have college to look forward to.
Yeah, and Jake Mihalik is at one of the most prestige colleges at The Ohio State University. So he definitely doesn't want to be messing around with injuries. Explains why he pitches around once a week. That one is poked to the left side, foul.
Mihalik really improving his consistency with the strikes throughout these last 2 or 3 games. Came in, beginning of the season, had some trouble with the consistency of the balls and strikes. really showing out as that Ohio State pitcher that we all knew he was going to be.
Here's the 1-1. Cutter misses outside.
Can we talk about Eddie Yaman's flexibility? Like, him behind the plate, it's like a lot of catchers, Dan, actually, fun fact, do ballet. Because it's all about flexibility and elusiveness behind the plate. Eddie Yaman doing full splits in catcher's gear. I can almost tell you how hard that is.
I bet it is. I'm certainly not a flexible one. You don't want to see me try and do some gymnastics. I don't think that would go very well.
Yeah, just seeing his flexibility, I'm thinking, I can never do that. I'd keep it where
torn
I can.
ACL immediately. Out.
Yeah.
Not ACL. Yeah, ACL gone. And speaking of my ACL being on, Javar Williams is gone a strikeout here for Jake Mihalik, and there's 2 quick outs in the 5th.
Mihalik, total different perspective on the pitching side. A quick 2 right there to start it. And, just last out would be big for the Stallions. Just catch a whiff of momentum. That's all they need, is that little whiff of momentum, and everything falls into place.
Just to get something going for themselves, keep this game continuing past the 7th inning. First pitch here to Figueroa. Mihalik gets him swinging for strike 1. Mihalik doing a great job, has retired the first 2 batters he's faced and now is up 0-2 on Figueroa.
Mihalik wearing the Ohio State red turf shoes over there on the mound, because the mound is turf. So keep that in mind. A lot of pitchers have trouble on the turf mound, Dan. It's known. It's called the troublesome thing.
Misses outside. It's 1-2. The 1-2. Fouled back. One-two here to Figueroa. Mihalik misses upstairs. Here's the pitch. Hit right over Truvella's head into right field for a 2-out base knock.
Travella timed that absolutely perfectly, too. Just that inch above the topping of the webbing of the glove. But Mihalik really looking forward to just get this last out and find himself out of this bottom of the 5th.
It'll be Evan Hager now, the right fielder, with 2 outs, and Figueroa over on first. Hager in this game, he's 1 for 3. That pitch misses inside for ball 1. Stallions have 2 innings to score at least 1 run if they want to keep this game going past the 7th. Here's the pitch. Smoked foul.
And Dan, before this game, I did a little bit of comparing the Stallions to the Mohawks, and let me tell you, it's almost identical. You have a few, the runs, Amsterdam 209, Saugerties 207, hits, Saugerties 249, Amsterdam 258, triples, Saugerties 12, Amsterdam 11.
That one gets by Yaman. Going over to second will be Figueroa.
Really tells you how intact and how similar these teams are.
And the funny thing is, if you compare the 2 squads' rosters, you would think that Amsterdam would be putting up significantly more numbers. Just shows to how skilled and how effective all the guys on the Saugerties lineup have been so far this season.
A good saying I heard was, the paper doesn't tell the full story, you seeing it does. And, it really it says a lot, because watching the Stallions, what an amazing team to watch, right? But if you look both on paper, you have a lot of big college names, and, Big 12, Big 10, all of this flying around. But the paper doesn't tell the full story.
Never judge a book by its cover. The 3-1. That one is hit into center field. It will get down. Here's the throw in from Bach. It's going to be cut off by McIntyre, and it's 11-0 Mohawks. Second RBI single of the day for Evan Hager.
Such an efficient first 2 outs there for Mahalik, and just really couldn't get that last out, and now that's 9 out of 11 runs, Dan, on the 2 outs. And I want to repeat myself. 2 outs means nothing in any game of baseball. It means you're 1 out away. It doesn't mean that your inning's over.
First pitch here to Ladahoff is down low, gets him swinging for a strike. You really think about that put away pitch, especially in the first inning. Powell was 1 strike away from getting out of the inning before letting up a bases clearing double. There's no 1-2 count there, just left a fastball over the middle of the plate. And since then, it's been a struggle. Stallions really having a hard time here tonight at Shuttleworth, and they'll now need to put up 2 in these next 2 innings if they want to keep it going. Ladahoff chops this one up the middle. It gets through for a base hit. 3 straight singles here for the Mohawks, and there's runners at first and second.
It's almost as if 2 outs is the kryptonite to the Stallions right now in this game. Best way to put it. 1 out, Mohawks aren't even as close as effective. But when it's 2 outs, the bats can't be stopped. And it's ironic because in any other game, any team with 2 outs usually doesn't succeed as well, knowing that a lot has to happen with just 1 out remaining. But this Mohawks really defying the odds here and saying, no, 2 outs is just fine for us.
Well, you know what I'm really interested in now, AJ? I'm interested to see how this team responds tomorrow. Playing a Mohawk Valley team who you've only lost to and you tied to, haven't earned a win this season. Seeing how these guys respond from the top down tomorrow night at Cantine Field is going to tell a lot about this team's character.
Yeah, and, all these players definitely have experienced losses in their life. It's the game of baseball. It's the game of sports. But it's the character and how you come back in a game when you just lost to your rival in a win that the team thought of coming on the bus here. We got to win this game.
It was almost a must-win scenario for the Stallion squad if they wanted to stay in this race for first. Will most likely be 3 games back when this is all said and done. 0-2 count here to Jimmy Dion. Hit right to Travella. He fields cleanly, throws to first, and the Stallions get out of this inning. Mohawks played another one in this 5th. We head to the 6th. It's 11-0.
All right.
11-0 here in this top half of the 6th. It's the 2, 3, 4 hitters here for the Stallions to start things off. And you just want to see really any signs of life for this team at this point. Maybe throw a run on this board. Try and keep the game going. and get the heart of your lineup going.
It really comes to who in the dugout's going to make the impact today, who's going to be the voice, and who's going to start the charge. That's really what it comes to, Dan, and I can give you a list of names that have the potential to do it. Almost everyone on the team has the potential to do it. But the real question on July 9th of this game is just who's going to do it? Because we're top of the sixth here, and not one person has stepped up. And, and a leader in a game with a ton of college kids looking to improve and better themselves to the next level, you got to have a leader to step up. Someone in that dugout needs to speak up and say 11 runs means nothing.
Stallions have had a base runner on in every single inning of this game. They've left 4 stranded in their last 4 innings. Ryan Resio broke the no-hitter in that top half of the 5th with a 1-out single. Trivella takes outside, but overall, it's been extremely uncharacteristic at the dish for this team.
Like we said, Dan, so far, 28 games, batting a .281 at the dish, 39 doubles, 12 triples, 16 home runs, 171 RBIs, and they get walked 165 times. So if they're not hitting the ball, they have amazing plate discipline. Today, none of those being put into place.
The 1-1. Trivella swinging for the fences right there. He has gone yard in this ballpark this year, had a solo shot in the last game between these two squads here at Shuttleworth. That gave the Stallions a 3-2 lead heading into the bottom half of the 8th before they let up 4 and ended up losing 6-3. He takes upstairs for ball 2. It really seems like these matchups are Jekyll and Hyde, where it's either blowout or instant classic between these two squads.
And a team that I want to compare that to is the Albany Baseball Club. Every time we go to Albany or every time they join us at Cantine, it's either a 2-1 game, a 6-5 game, a 16-2 game, a 10-0. So all different scores. Close ones, not close ones. Perfect example of that Jekyll and Hyde, Dan.
I couldn't agree with you more. Mario Trivella works himself a leadoff walk. It'll bring up Nate Manley.
Mohawks do have someone in the bullpen, Dan, ready to unleash as soon as things get out of hand. And Keith Griffin is the guy on this field that is the least scared to do that. Switch and go.
First pitch to Manley. He was late on the fastball. Here's the 0-1. Misses outside, throw down to first, not in time.
Dan, you saw how fast that ball traveled on the turf there. It's a 1-bouncer, but it's like he's coming in 100 miles per hour off the bounce.
And you know that better than anybody playing behind the dish on turf.
Had a ton of games on turf, though. Had one team in the league that had turf, and it was always nice to play on there.
1-2 count here to Manley. That one gets inside, almost hit him.
Manley, again, one of the team's better hitters. A 391 coming into this game through 14 games. 8 RBIs, 4 doubles, and a triple.
He was just late on that one. The count will stay knotted at 2s. Nobody out here in this top half of the 6th. Stallions trying to get their first run across of this ball game. The 2-2. Manley hits that one over to right field. Going back on it is Hager, and he'll make the catch. Another hard hit ball just straight to the outfield.
nothing you can do in baseball. There's 9 defenders for a reason, Dan. It's really meant for a game of failure.
And if you're Manly right there, you got to convince yourself, hey, that was a hit. That ball did get down. I made great contact and not let it discourage you.
Yeah, at Cantine, a lot of different scenarios that would have been outbrought in different situations. But right now, they got 280 left and right, 385 center, and they got to work with that. They got to see that, and they just got to keep on doing.
Trevella at first, Justin Ford at the dish. He takes outside. 2 balls here to Justin Ford. New arm warming in the pen for the Mohawks is James Reddick, the rising freshman who's going to Fordham. The 2-0. Ford smokes that to left field. That ball is gone. Justin Ford puts the Stallions on the board, and I think we're going to be going a little bit further than 7 innings. The lead is cut to 9.
Exactly what the Stallions needed there. And, you know, curveball, lefty-righty, sat on that absolutely perfectly and trampled that way past left field wall.
That's now back-to-back games where the Stallions have had a home run. And really just a scenario where, hey, give your team something to build on going into tomorrow.
Justin Ford heard our message and became that leader and really stepped up when it mattered. He come into this game at 379, adds a home run to his resume, adds 2 RBIs. Now he leads the team with 21 RBIs.
And that also is just his 2nd home run of the season. Both have come against the Mohawks.
Yeah, crucial times call for crucial measures, and crucial measure turns into a home run. You can't ask for much more.
Eddie Yaman will be the next to step in. Stallions finally showing some signs of life here in the top half of the 6th.
Definitely some life. Now you are down 9, but you're only in the bottom of the top of the 6th. There's so much time left. It's almost
chipping away.
indescribable. 100%.
That one's inside to Yaman. It seems like right now Aikens is struggling with some control issues.
Yeah, and this is exactly the time that you can see Keith Griffin looking over to the bullpen saying, hey, 1 or 2 more pitches, I'm good. After this batter, I can almost guarantee you that the rising freshman at Fordham will be coming in.
Yaman chases down low. Count is 2-2. And Ford, I think honestly that ball might have been caught at Cantine Field. It had lots of arc to it right there. Probably on the warning track, but a home run here.
Yeah, and in center field would have had a double. But
should have a 2-for-3 night.
Tough day.
Yaman hits this one to left field. Coming in is Harden, but it will be Daniel making the play for out number 2.
Daniel's known for his exceptional defense. Only 1 error on the season so far for him. And I was looking at it, a .993 fielding percentage. One of the best in the league at shortstop position.
Matt McIntyre to the dish now. He takes a first pitch strike. Stallions putting up 2 runs here in this top half of the 6th by way of a 2-run home run out of Justin Ford. That one misses outside. It's 1-1. That pitch catches the inside corner, and it's 1-2 to McIntyre. The pitch, McIntyre hits that one into left field. Harden chasing, and he's got it. Stallions break the shutout, though. A 2-run home run from Justin Ford gets Saugerties on the board. It's 11-2 as we bottom half of the 6th. Bottom half of the 6th. It's an 11-2 ball game after Justin Ford put Saugerties on the board with a 2-run shot in that top half. Mario Trivella had the leadoff walk, and then Ford able to bring him home. Jake Mihalik stays out there for his second inning of work, and the first batter he will face here in the bottom half of the 6th is the third baseman, Liam Wilson.
Liam Wilson started, this is his 4th at-bat of the game, if I remember correctly. First one went lefty, second at-bat went righty, third at-bat went righty, and now for his 4th at-bat, going lefty again.
So righty, lefty, righty, correct?
Lefty, righty, righty, lefty.
Oh, he's only been up, so lefty, righty, righty.
And now this is his
Lefty.
lefty.
So in the first plate appearance as a lefty, strikeout. As a righty, RBI double. Then as a righty again, strikeout. And we'll see what happens here as Mihalik is quickly ahead 0-2. The pitch misses down low.
Mihalik looking to just continue what he did last inning. That 1 run is just going to brush off. And this inning, he is shooting for no runs, just to give the Stallions a chance.
That one's popped up to the left side. This entire game has been a completely different contest after the second inning. Mohawks put up 10 in the first 2, but since then they've only put up 1, and the pitching's been mostly sound.
Most definitely sound. You saw none in the 3rd, none in the 4th, 1 in the 5th.
And it's not as if that run given up by Mihalik was hard contact. They were both grounders just in the holes of first base and second, and then between short and second base. The 1-2 misses upstairs.
Mihalik needs to shut out this 2-strike at bat. It got him to an 0-2, now a 2-2. Can't let it get out of hand. These Mohawks really feed on that.
That one's fouled straight back. Count will stay at 2-2. Once again, the Stallions will welcome the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs tomorrow at Cantine Field. 7:05 p.m. start at Cantine, or if you can't make it, a 6:55 Pac Cup pregame show. First of 2 home matchups. Here's the 2-2. Misses upstairs. The count will go full. Off day on Thursday. We will be releasing a new episode of The Stable with Andrew Amato. That'll be a great interview. Make sure to stay tuned for that on all platforms. And then on Friday, Saugerties will play host to Watertown for just the only time this season. The payoff pitch misses upstairs after Mihalik went ahead 0-2. He deals a 4-pitch walk.
Like we said, that 2-strike at bat, and just lost out of his hands.
They'll bring up Zach Eldred here with nobody out and Wilson over at first. That one misses upstairs now. 5 straight balls for Mihalik. Gets Eldred swinging for strike 1.
Stallions have let up 15 hits throughout just 6 innings of plays. Those 15 hits turning into 11 runs. And the defense even playing better. Have not recorded an error yet on the field. So a clean game from the Mohawks, in and out from first pitch to this pitch.
Mohawks had 10 hits in those first 2 innings where they had 10 runs. Since then, have only had 5. The 0-2 from Mihalik catches him up inside. Mihalik saying, hey, that didn't hit him, but Eldred is going to take his base. And that's always a hard call.
Yeah, he even showed proof to the home plate umpire there. It obviously had a burn on him or a mark. And the home umpire saw it and was like, all right, I believe you. Mihalik was very confused as He didn't think he hit him.
From Marshall, number 35, Jake Sparks.
We had Jake Sparks to pinch hit here for Luke Zepic. Runners are at first and second. There's nobody out. That one finds the zone for strike one. We saw Sparks come in as a pinch hitter yesterday, and that one, he would take the role of Pete Daniel, the shortstop. Would eventually end up at third base. Mihalik gets him swinging. Now in every at-bat that Mihalik has had in this inning, he's had 2 strikes. He's had an 0-2 count. Runners get their lead. That one misses outside for ball 1.
Taking a look at both bullpens, Dan. You look at the left side, third base line, Jace Van Valkenburg. Looks like he is warming up. We take a look to the right side. It doesn't matter. It's 11-2. Mohawks still have 2 arms warming up that are ready to go on command.
That one's fouled back, and for the Mohawks, you're going into 4 games in 2 days. It can't be emphasized how important it is for them to get out of here in 7 innings and save those arms.
Yeah, Coach Griffin definitely thinking the same thing. If they can get out in 7, they save an arm or 2 that they can use in that doubleheader against Albany tomorrow.
The 0-2. Or excuse me, the 1-2 misses down low. It's 2-2. That one smoked to the left side. It will get down in the corner. 1 run is going to score. They're going to hold up Eldred over at third, but he's going to start chugging home as he's between home and third. He will now go back. It's an RBI double for Jake Sparks off the bench, and it's 12-2.
Just Jake Sparks, seeing as a lefty-righty, took that the opposite way and really just did the most out of it. Got his team in that 10-run range now, Dan, that if the Stallions do record 3 outs in the top of the 7th, this game is over. And I think it's crucial for the Stallions to get another run next inning to keep this game open, because wasted arm for the Mohawks, waste 2 arms for the Mohawks, give them less of a chance to take that 2-game series against the baseball club tomorrow, and give your team a chance to take the 1 spot in the East Division.
You have nothing to lose at this point.
No. Absolutely nothing to lose. Put up runs and save your team.
That one misses outside.
From Belmont, number 13,
Pete Daniel is now at the ditch. He replaced Rob Rispoli over at short in a few innings ago. Will now have his first plate appearance of the night with runners at second and third and nobody out. Mihalik struggling out there on the mound right now.
Mihalik now just looking for that 1 or 2 outs just on the ground. Just get the outs.
The runs don't matter at this point. Just put the ball in play. That one misses outside, and the count goes to 3-0. This will be one to forget for the Stallions, and luckily they can make it right up tomorrow against the Diamond Dogs at home. They've only lost 2 games at home all season long. They've been nearly perfect. It's a 4-pitch walk here from Jake Mihalik, and Rich Doobie is quickly out of the pen. Jace Van Valkenburg is going to come into this game. It's a Dallas Hot Wieners called to the bullpen. The bases are loaded with nobody out in the bottom of the 6th, and Amsterdam has already plated 1. We're going to step aside here on the Stallions YouTube channel. Bases are loaded. There's nobody out in the bottom half of the sixth. Jace Van Valkenburg is the new arm on the mound for the Stallions.
Van Valkenburg in his 8th start today. 2 of those games being started. He's pitched 13 innings, allowing 12 hits, 5 earned runs. But he has struck out 10. So looking to strike out more and make itself a good run.
Stewart takes him deep on the first pitch. That one is foul. That would have been a grand slam, and the promotion here at the ballpark, somebody would have won $10,000 off of that single swing. So that's an expensive foul ball right there for Aiden Stewart.
Sitting just below us, too. If he got that grand slam, $10,000. Just foul of 5 feet. Oh, man.
That's the most upsetting thing to happen here at the ballpark tonight. Here's the 1-0, or the 0-1, and it's grounded foul. It's 0-2. That's a life-changing, that's a lot of money right there that guy just lost on that one swing. As much as I want to see that ball go foul, I do feel bad for that fan.
Oh, man. Your team's up 10, but you lose that. That's a hard deal breaker.
Stewart pokes it to left field. Charging in on it is Ford. It will drop. It's an RBI single here for Aiden Stewart, and it's 13-2 Mohawks. Stewart, the teammate of Andrew Amato down at Delaware. Top of the order here for the Mohawks. It'll be Javar Williams. Was up in the 5th. He struck out. Williams fouls that one back. Van Valkenburg gets Williams swinging there for strike 2. The bases are still loaded. There's nobody out. It's a 13-2 ball game here in the bottom half of the 6th. Williams chops that one to the right side, foul. Van Valkenburg's been consistent as of late. And he's really got the numbers down for himself.
Yeah, as he came into last week with a 4.85 and brought it down to that 3.46 mark. Just put in a really tough position here that most wouldn't succeed in, Dan.
He's given up 1 run. That is unearned. It'll go on Jake Mihalik's line, excuse me. And then the runners at 2nd and 3rd right now for the Mohawks, which is Zach Eldred and Jake Sparks, would also fall onto Mihalik's line if they are to come home. Williams grounds it foul once again.
Williams is early, and Jace Van Valkenburg has to notice that right away.
The 1-2. Poke to the left side, a little flare. It's going to get down fair. No, it's going to be foul. Seemed fair from our angle, but home plate umpire rules it just foul. Count will stay at 1-2.
The crowd is not happy at all.
It's a 13-2 ball game. You can't be this upset.
The fans are booing for sure, but obviously they had the best view on it.
I mean, maybe, but if you're the $10,000 Grand Slam guy, you're not booing. Happy about that. This one's hit to Trivella. It's another error in the field for the Stallions. That will mark number 3 tonight. It's an E4. Wow. AJ, I don't even know what to say anymore about this team with the errors. 5 last night, 3 here tonight. It seems as if nothing has changed from game to game for them. It's inexcusable, and you're simply not going to win ball games against Amsterdam if you're putting up 2 hits, 3 errors through 6 innings of play.
Yeah, it's the stats, they don't lie to you, and every time you put up those type of stats, you got to expect to lose. And the Stallions last night put up more hurtful stats, and they came out with the win because the Mohawks had similar stats and similar troubles. But
That game from the Mohawks was a fluke.
Yeah.
That is never going to happen again this season.
No, that game, no matter either team having that much trouble, the other team will not match them because it's 2 teams with immense experience. It's almost hard to say when you have 4, 3, 5 errors in a game, but you're supporting yourself with 2 hits. You can't expect to get the win.
Not at all. That one finds the zone for strike 1, and that also, if Trivella could have turned it cleanly, it would have been a 4-6-3 double play, put 2 outs on the board, and only leave a singular runner at third. 1-1. That one gets past Yaman. Coming home here is Eldred, and the struggles continue. Everything going wrong for this team. That's Yaman's 3rd pass ball tonight.
Just a tough game, and I really hope that the Stallions utterly, and I mean utterly, forget about this game. Because if they come into this game tomorrow and lose, they're 2 games ahead of the Diamond Dogs.
That one's hit to the left side. Resio fields it. We'll let the run score throw to first. It's an RBI ground out here for Tyler Figueroa. It's his 2nd RBI of the night, 16-2 Mohawks. I mean, when you're getting beaten by 14 by a division rival, something has got to change. You put up 9 errors in the last 2 games, really more like 12, to be honest, that weren't officially scored, and you're only putting up 2 hits. Last night, only had 6 hits, won the game because the Mohawks put up 5 errors. Something throughout this team has to change.
It's pitching, hitting, fielding. I don't know the answer. I'm not the coach, obviously, Dan, but now it's time where something is broken, and you got to fix it. At the point where the Stallions started the season 7-0, right? 7-0, beat Amsterdam in their 3rd game of the season, 5-4 on that walk-off hit by Ryan Resio, and you think, oh, that was good momentum. The Stallions haven't caught that same wind of momentum at that high of a level since.
This one's fouled off. They held the lead in the PGCBL for their first 16 games of the year. They were number 1. That's the only time that's happened in franchise history. And we've seen guys come and go. That's understandable. We've seen now the same lineup in back-to-back days that's been ineffective. Maybe some new guys will join this squad. Who knows what's going to happen over the next couple of days. That one is slapped to the right side. It will get down. Williams is going to come home. It is 17-2. It's a stand-up double. Keith Griffin showed the stop sign to Williams right there. He blew right through it. It's a 15-run lead, and the bleeding just needs to stop. Van Valkenburg has only gotten 1 out and has faced 4 batters in this inning. Again, I don't know where you go at this point right now. You have your best lineup out there minus Andrew Amato. The 3 guys on your bench are banged up or injured. There's not many different directions to go. This is most likely going to be what's out there on a night-by-night basis. I think the culture, something inside of the clubhouse, has got to change.
You started your game with a .73 ERA guy, too. You literally had one of your best strategized lineups into today. And obviously things beyond not going the Stallions' way, and that's fair to say. But giving up 17 hits with, it says 3 errors, I see 4 or 5. And it makes you think, you're down 15, but the game doesn't say final. You got to fight to the end. And the only way for the Stallions to fight is to play to their best. And the Stallions right now, I think it's fair to say, playing nothing close
They're far from
to
their
the
best.
median of their best.
Far from their best. They scratched a win yesterday against the Mohawks. Complete reversal. Van Valkenburg's fastball comes in and nicks Spolita.
Can you believe that there's still ice cream left? Come on over.
Runners are at first and second. There's one out in this inning. This has been a complete embarrassment for the Stallions. 2 innings in this game where they've let up 6 runs.
Number 3, Trey DiSorno.
You have to have a completely, entirely different game tomorrow against Mohawk Valley.
And I think this was, if not the best wake-up call to saying there is no more room for messing around. If you want to be one, it starts now.
That one's hit into left field. Chasing it is Ford. He can't get it. Coming around to score here will be Figueroa. It is 18-2 Mohawks. That's the now 3rd ball we've seen tonight. Hit over Justin Ford's way, and he hasn't been able to field any of them. This is just embarrassing at this point for the Stallions. And now you have Manny Santos coming up. Santos pitched yesterday against the Stallions. He let up a run which made it, I believe at the time, 5-2. We'll see what he does here from the dish. He is a two-way guy.
And they
First
did,
pitch misses
they
down
did
low.
such a great job, Dan, minimizing, limiting, stopping the damage after those first 2 innings. Like we said, first inning 4, second inning 6. But then we go 3rd, 4th, 0, 5th, 1. But this 6th inning, breaking all of them, Dan.
That one's chopped to the left side. Going to be a tough play for Resio. He throws to first. It is in time for out number 2.
That's a great play by Resio. The transfer from the glove to the ear to the ball getting released, that was quick. More of a shortstop.
Designated hitter from Lockport, number 10, Zach Eldred.
Zach Eldred will now step up. There's still runners at second and third. That is just the second out of this 6th inning.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how about a special round of applause?
Some dispute there on whether
Such a beautiful ice cream
Eldred's bat cracked. He will now get a new one. AJ, I mean, is there even a message for Rich Doobie to tell his squad after the game today? Or does it just speak for itself?
I mean, obviously you could say being flabbergasted is none of the unusual in this game. And Coach Rich Doobie, who coached at beyond
He
the
coached a
highest
World
level,
Series winning team.
100%, the highest level of levels you can go. He was at, Dan. And he's obviously seen blowouts and bad games in future and past events. And you're going to see more as games go on. But I don't know if he's ever seen an 18-2 loss. This is, with 18 hits being allowed, the message being, this has to be more just solidified from the beginning. And, 2 innings, and I felt like this game, the vibe, the presence, the scenery, it was gone.
Was really gone from the start. Swing there makes it a full count. That one is chopped foul. So we did a little running of the numbers. Rich Doobie did see a 20-5 victory over the Colorado Rockies when he was the pitching coach in 2008. That was the largest result of the entire season for that World Series winning team.
That's obviously on the other side of it, right? A win, which is obviously
that one misses down low. Van Valkenburg just can't even get a call at this point.
Position pitcher, Josh Blackmore.
How about it? Josh Blackmore is going to come into the game now for the Stallions. It's the first time this season that the Stallions have gone with a position player out there on the mound. Jason Van Valkenburg's day is done, and he comes in a bases-loaded scenario. So maybe there's some hope for the $10,000 jewelry fan right here.
Oh, man. It's so funny and crazy.
It's not even funny. You're just laughing out of embarrassment at this point.
It's just looking at Blackmore, though, going from the catcher side to the pitcher side, and you see he has that catcher release.
This is the first time I've ever seen a position player in a game in real life. This is something. We're going to step aside here for a moment as Josh Blackmore warms up. Bases loaded, 2 outs.
His last at bat hit that double down the third base line.
Blackmore's dealt 2 straight strikes. It's 0-2. This is unbelievable. Blackmore going for the strikeout. He's got it. It's a 3-pitch strikeout for Josh Blackmore on Jake Sparks to end the inning. I did not think I would see that tonight. But 3 pitches and Jake Sparks goes down looking.
3 pitches, 3 strikes, and 1 out.
Well, there was Sparks' second at bat of the inning. If you're going to take one highlight away from tonight, let it be Josh Blackmore's 3-pitch strikeout. Stallions down to their final 3 outs of the ball game. Stay with us.
With another homer.
Top half of the 7th. Take a look across the MLB. We talked about the Phillies and their blowouts with head coach Rich Doobie. They're currently up 10-1 right now. The Yankees trying to pull off a victory in Tampa. They're down 4-3 in the 8th. Byram Hott will start things off for the Stallions. Final 3 outs of this ball game unless Saugerties puts up 7. New arm on the mound for the Mohawks is James Reddick. Hott fouls that one off for strike 1.
Even though the score is 18-2, the energy at Shuttleworth is beyond me. Really? Keeping it to the high expectation that you believe it is.
They pack the ballpark every single night.
Identical foul balls there by Byram Hott.
Oh, 2 count. Here's the pitch. Misses on the inside corner. It's 1-2. Once again, Stallions will play tomorrow night, 7:05 p.m. at home against the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs. Hott is down on strikes. It's his second punch-out of the night. 6:55 pregame here on the Stallions YouTube. 7:05 first pitch. Big thanks to Casey DeSell for producing tonight here in Amsterdam. AJ will be back on the producing tomorrow night. It's really a battle at this point. I don't know who the best producer is in this booth. It goes back and forth for me. I don't know. It's going to be a test of time down the stretch. The 0-1 here to Resio. He swings through it for strike 2. Last time the Stallions had this big of a loss against Amsterdam, it was 17-4. That one came all the way back long ago in 2021. One-two, Resio hits it to left center field. Williams moves over. He has got it. Stallions are down to their last out of this game. First pitch here to Cuello. Misses outside for ball 1. That one misses outside. This will be the worst loss the Stallions have had against the Mohawks in their franchise history. They've gotten mercied plenty times before, but this the worst by far, and change is definitely coming. Here's the 1-2. Misses off the outside. It's 2-2. The coveted 4th win of the regular season against the Amsterdam Mohawks is going to have to wait. Here's the 2-2. Hit to the left side. Manny Santos at third throws a rocket over to first for out number 3. The Mohawks take care of business here at home. 18-2, your final score. A night to forget for the Stallions. And AJ's wiped this one away. On to tomorrow.
There is absolutely nothing I can say that could change the results of today's games. But one thing I could say is that the Stallions have some work that they need to improve on. Because this is a team that they are going to see down the line. And if they do not match up with them now, they will not match up with them down the line, Dan.
That's going to be a true test to see if they can match up. Next matchup between these two squads will be on July 18th here at Shuttleworth Park. That one, at that point in the season, will probably be must win. That's going to do it here from Shuttleworth Park tonight. We'll be with you tomorrow night at home for Stallions versus Diamond Dogs. For AJ DiBenedetto, I'm Dan Shalom saying good night.